Right, right, good evening. I thought I'd have sort of 10 minutes sort of talking about extruders. Obviously a lot of people know everything that I'm about to talk about, but someone's bound to not know everything, and if you started making bait, it needs to be discussed and looked at. Obviously, the simplest way to extrude paste with an extruding gun, a hand one. Basically, you've got a piston in the end, you pull the trigger back, got your barrel, you make your sausage, slide it into the end, obviously put your end, and then away you go, pumping away, and out you go. Work very well on small amounts, and it's a lot easier if you're only making a small amount of bait. To release it, you just pull the trigger back, you pull the plunger right the way back. After a period of time, you might find the spring, this might want a little bit of oil on, but you will have to, if you're making a lot of bait, you will end up with an arm a bit like Popeye. So after a period of time, you start to look at other options. So we've got a few more options here. So that's the starting point. And they start at about 35, 36 pound, I think, something like that. So then you go up from an handgun. The most easiest way normally would be to go up to air, which is what we're looking at. So these are my guns that I use all the time, so they're a bit well used. So basically, this is a 1 litre, that's a 3 litre, and this is a 5 litre. Basically, you won't, from a litrage, you're not going to get a kilo rate. So a 1 litre, you'll get about 850 grams. 3 litre, you probably get about 2.6 kilos. The 5 litre, you get about 4.8 kilo. And if you're mixing up a lot of bait, then the bigger gun, which is this one, I use all the time really, and then offcut some bits I tend to use in the others. So basically they work on the same principle. This is the piston out of my 1 litre gun. Basically you've got 2 seals on, obviously here I'll just be using it, I haven't cleaned it yet, but that goes inside the barrel. It's not held any other way but actually loose, so you have to, there's safety issues you've got to think of here. Basically the barrel on all the guns are threaded the same on either end, so basically you've got nothing obviously in the barrel here. So basically you put the piston into the barrel. What I normally would do is put just a little dab of a little bit of oil or something on just on the edge when I've cleaned it. You take the actual seals out and wash them in between. Just get it sort of lubricated like that, and then what I'll do, I always put it on the floor, push it in, and then it's at the end like that. Now when you've got it in, then you can drop your paste inside, put the end cap on. So you're filling up the pistons at that end. Obviously you've got to remember now to put your trigger on that end. Thread it on. Nice and tight. Put your paste in that point if you want. Then you get your end cap. Thread your end cap on. Again, nice and tight. Then on my gun I've put quick release fittings on, which is a lot easier because it's easy for take to bits to clean and swap them over. So this will go back to a compressor. So you need a decent sized compressor, sort of RB type compressor. I've got a 25 litre compressor. You've got a bayonet fitting on the end of this one, and then you just push the two together and it locks in. So again, to release, you pull the trim this back and pull off. In, off. So basically, all three work the same way. Now when you come to clean and take the piston out on any of the guns, and also from a safety point of view, never put the air on without the end cap being on and put the trigger on. because seriously, if the piston flies out, it's very dangerous. You could cause really serious injury to it, damage anything in there, and you could probably cause a big injury to a colleague if there was someone with you. So never put the air gun on without the end cap on and with the piston in. Right, so then go in, if you want to clean, so basically here I've just done with this one, been making some red baits. So again I need to take the piston out to clean it. So basically, pistons at that end, got the gun at here end, this end. So what I'll do then, put it on this end, this is the only time you put the end cap on without, put it face down, and then just give it a light tweak, and it will just fly out then. Like that. But always do it down to the floor, because if you were doing anywhere it would literally go flying across the room. But not only that, if you go flying across the room, you've damaged the piston, and you're going to get an air leak down the side of the piston. On the bigger one, you can see the piston's a bit fatter and bigger. Nice good seals on them. Now I find them very good, and from an air seal, never really have any problem with these guns for getting air down the actual outer part, because that can be a big problem with air guns, is you can get an air leak that will come round the edge of the piston and get into the bait, and it'll start to spit and splutter. So that's another thing that you can do on those. Obviously you'll need to cut your nozzles as you're going along to the right, mark them up. I tend to cut them and put like a little print out and mark them up to what they are. That works really well. So with that you'll need a compressor. So you've obviously got a gun, an airline and a compressor. Now there is another way if you want to make a bit of bait at home yourself, not massive amount, but a good amount for a normal person making a bit of bait. Then is to go for a cordless gun. So here, it comes with a charger, obviously plug in, and this is the gun itself. It takes about the same capacity as an handgun, so probably 3/4 of a kilo of bait. The battery locates into the end of this handle. 10.8 volt I think it is. And you just drop that in, locate it up, clip it in, and then this bar runs all the way down onto the piston. So the piston is in here on the end of this bar. To fill it up, two buttons here. That top one, you pull that one in, and pull the bar and right the way back. Obviously, to fill it up, you need to take the hand cap off. Again, like the handgun, put the paste inside. Now, obviously put the end cap back on your nozzle, what you want. Now, on the bottom trigger, bottom port, there's another trigger underneath. You push that one, and that is the entire noise that you're getting. Very silent. Sounds a bit like a flat battery. The first time I used one, and it will release back. First time I used one, I thought this is going to just stop within seconds, but it just keeps going. Now also on the end, you've got a dial here, so you can actually speed it up or turn it down. So you can adjust the flow. So basically, as I pull the bottom, that's the lowest speed. Gradually going up. And surprisingly, I take the finger off and it just pulls back, which is very handy, because if you've got the pressure on when you took the trigger, the paste will gradually keep coming out for a bit. Because it releases backwards, it tends not to more or less instantly stop. it comes with one battery and a charger. And I have found if I'm making bait through the day with it, plodding away with it, just trickle charge it over a cup of tea at dinner and stuff, and one battery just works really well. But you can have an extra battery if you want. And the drawback with these is they're expensive. You're talking about 120 quid for a 1 litre of that. These are about 200, and the 5 litre one, they're about 250. But you've still got to have bought a compressor. So if you haven't got a compressor, then this isn't quite as bad, because obviously you add the cost of the compressor in, it comes a big amount. These work out at £325, but you haven't got to buy a compressor. You haven't got any noise really, so you can be doing it in a flat. You could be even doing it on the bank, making it anywhere. They've got a lot of flexibility with them, but they're a very good product, and I've been using them over the last few years. They're not on the website yet, but they will be in the next few days. We've had them for a while, but they went out of stock for a bit, but they're back in stock now. So they're the areas you've got to think. Again, you've just got to make sure you're clean, keep everything clean, and really you've just got to decide on which route you want to take. But anyone's got any queries or anything regarding discussing guns, you can just email me, send me some messages, and I'll have a look and see what we can sort out for you. Alright, hope that's been helpful. Cheers, good night.